Hi, and welcome to another partner showcase. My name is Guy Bartram. I'm the Director of Product Marketing for our cloud providers in VMware. And today I'm delighted to be joined by Jeff Jack from Dimension Data in South Africa. Jeff, welcome. Do you want to start by perhaps giving yourself a brief introduction to people?
Yeah, thank you very much. So, hi to everyone. My name is Jeff Jack, and I'm the Principal Head of the Cloud Practice in Dimension Data Middle East and Africa.
Well, thanks for your time today, Jeff. It's a pleasure to have you on. Let's start with a little bit about Dimension Data in South Africa. What are some of the capabilities you guys offer in your cloud portfolio and services that you can provide to customers?
Okay, thank you. So Dimension Data is a technology service provider. We're a member of NTT Limited, so a part of the global NTT group. And what we offer in South Africa and across the Middle East and Africa is fairly consistent. From a cloud practice perspective, our focus is on hybrid cloud. So we really look at how we can help clients across the full gamut. So whether that be helping them build out their on-premise data center capability, whether it be providing private cloud infrastructure and services, together with shared or sovereign cloud. So we have a shared platform in South Africa and in East Africa, and working with the hyperscalers as well. We want to be able to provide clients kind of a full end-to-end suite to meet their hybrid and multi-cloud needs.
So that's quite an extensive portfolio then. And today we're going to be talking obviously about the VMware side of the portfolio. So let's zoom into kind of the VMware and specifically Cloud Verified. Now, do you just want to explain what that means to you and how your customers have perceived your Cloud Verified offerings?
Look, our Cloud Verified, so firstly, one of our key platforms that we have is something called our virtual data center. So that is a shared VMware hosting platform that we, like I said, we have in South Africa and we have in Kenya, so it services our East African market. And it's been a platform that we've invested in over a number of years, and only recently have we become Cloud Verified, and we've had very positive feedback from our clients on that. And so why did we think it was important? Why did I ask my team to make sure that we got that badge? I think and I know is our clients are really like the fact that we've built something that meets your standards, and so they've got some kind of verification to understand that the platform we put down is solid. It meets the VMware criteria, so they can be comfortable that where they do entrust us with putting one of their workloads on our platform, that we're actually putting it on a platform that is robust and then meets some minimum needs. Some minimum requirements. So for us that's been good, and I think what it also speaks to our clients, and we've certainly communicated to our clients, is that by us putting this effort in, actually speaks to our investment in VMware, how we see you as a strategic partner, and what that means for what else we're going to start delivering on that platform as a part of the VMware Cloud Verified program.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to have you on as Cloud Verified partners and obviously cloud providers in our program. So you mentioned that you guys are servicing South Africa and Eastern Africa, Kenya, with Kenya being the point of presence there. So what are some of the challenges that customers are facing these days with cloud in those regions?
So we think the sweet spot for our VDCs, it's got a couple of use cases. One is we're looking at clients who have a number of VMware workloads where they really don't want to take the burden of running their own infrastructure anymore, and they prefer to consume it as infrastructure as a service, delivered to them as a service. So that's one of the use cases where clients are really not wanting to invest in that capacity, manage that capacity, upgrade that capacity, and kind of go through that life cycle. They'd much rather pass that burden on to somebody like ourselves, which we'll gladly take. We've got another set of clients that are looking for additional capacity. So they've got set capacity which they still do use. They've got an on-premise infrastructure, but from time to time they need more capacity for a number of different reasons, and they need to be able to turn that capacity up quite quickly, and we're able to provide them that. So those are really the two main use cases that we see clients looking for, or coming to somebody like ourselves to solve that problem for them.
And really the outcomes of that then are that the customer gets to focus on their business, not necessarily their infrastructure, and then can go on to be kind of more competitive with whatever they can design for their applications on that estate.
You're 100% right, and many of our clients come to us and say, my role is to deliver value to business. Running infrastructure is not really deemed as providing a lot of value to business. We'd like to focus on the higher order things where we're closer to the application, we're closer to the data, we're closer to the business, but we want something solid in order to run those workloads on, and that's, like I said, that's something we're very happy to offer.
So let's talk a little bit about the portfolio then, because just want to zoom into the Cloud Verified piece. What's in the Cloud Verified piece? And you mentioned your VDC offering.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you want to expand on that?
Yeah. So our VDC offering is spans South Africa. We have 6 platforms across South Africa, so we're able to offer clients, whether they're in our major cities like Johannesburg, like Durban, like Cape Town. We've got platforms in those cities. We've got multiple platforms in Johannesburg because it's a large city. So what that allows us to do is provide proximity to clients. It also allows clients to then have redundancy and resilience across a number of our different data centers. So that's what we're able to provide from a VDC perspective. It's a shared platform, and we provide some dedicated instances as well. So we've got some clients who've come to us with some very specific workloads like ERP, which have very strict requirements around it. We can augment our VDC in order to be able to deliver, whether it be some hosted UC services, whether it be some ERP services that leverages the VMware platform, but we can run them on dedicated hosts for those clients. So we can actually offer them the best of both worlds in terms of shared, or a combination of shared and dedicated. And we also help clients in migrating workloads onto those platforms as well, particularly where they've come to a point with their on-prem infrastructure that it no longer scales, it's hit the end of life. We will help them migrate those workloads and then provide the replication services as well across our data centers as they need.
Brilliant. So there's quite a lot there, right? So let's just just rewinding a little bit. So this is a dedicated shared platform providing VMware cloud services, infrastructure as a service, either as a managed service or a self-service.
It is infrastructure as a service, so it can be delivered self-service, and it's often consumed as self-service, where clients are able to scale up and scale out as they need extra, add extra VMs, and really operate it as as an extension of their own platform. We're also able to augment that with an additional set of managed services, where we can also manage the workload for the clients as well, whether that be backing them, making sure those workloads are back up and verified, managing the operating systems for them, so patching it, hardening it, and making sure that vulnerabilities are dealt with. So yes, we can provide the infrastructure, but we can also go that layer above and also deal with the operating systems as well.
Yeah, and this is where I guess we're seeing a kind of change it's been evolving over the last few years, where skills shortages in customers in cloud technology have now kind of led to much more uptake in managed services and professional services to help them with their cloud journey. And so how do you see some of the aspects around customers working with you? What are some of the kind of specific outcomes that you can talk about that you've maybe seen with a couple of example customers?
If we have a look at, so kind of typical use cases, I spoke about it a little earlier, is where we got clients looking at augmenting their capacity. So, we would like to start with an advisory engagement. So, understanding the client's needs before we get into solutioning. It's always great to listen first before we provide a solution to the problem. And really it's come down to understanding what is the most appropriate venue for their workloads. And that's how we've led to, helping them decide whether, a private cloud is better to solve their problem because of the workload they're running, the requirements thereof, how they like to consume capacity and the infrastructure, whether a shared platform is more appropriate for them, and whether they would like committed consumption, pay as you grow. All of those requirements are, I suppose, uncovered through through a consulting and advisory process. We can then move them into a solution process, and that's essentially what we've taken clients through, where we've moved them from existing on-premise infrastructure into a combination of the solutions I've just described, and that's based on the fact that, like I said, they've run out of capacity. They've got to a point in the life cycle of their infrastructure where it's now a risk to their business. They're looking to replace it, but they don't want to get caught in the capex trap. They'd much rather consume something as a service. They'd love the flexibility to come with it. They don't want to be caught in a scenario where they hit the headroom on their on-premise capacity that they can't grow fast. We just think about where we are now in terms of global supply chains. We're just, ordering equipment and putting it in your own data center can take months and months now. Businesses can't afford to wait. So, that has really been a use case around agility and being able to move quickly, based on where clients are typically in their life cycle.
Yeah. You mentioned there's a load of good points there, but just a couple I'm going to home in on. The ability to have the right cloud for the job, I think, is 100% something that you're providing. As it's not one cloud, it's the right cloud, and that's really important. But also, it's that hybrid operating model across those multiple clouds that you might be spread across. And secondly, the economic model is something that is front and concern for everyone really when they're looking at cloud, is how much is this going to cost me? Yep. Having that transparency of cost and those different consumption models that you mentioned, like pay as you grow or reserved or allocated, those are key differences that you're providing. And I guess it's VMware Cloud Director as a part of that capability, delivering that.
Is a big part of it. And to jump in there, so we have a portfolio we call managed cloud services. So whether it's your on-prem infrastructure, whether it's a private cloud, whether it's our VDC shared infrastructure, or should you move workloads into the hyperscalers, we're able to offer a managed service across that entire stack. Consistency in tooling, consistency in reporting. So to your point around multi-cloud and hybrid cloud, and the fact that it's actually, cloud can often be an operating model and not necessarily just a technology choice.
Sure.
We can actually provide that consistent operating model across those different venues.
Excellent offering. And let's look a little bit to the future then. So is there anything you want to talk about and relate to customers that's up and coming in the portfolio? Like, what is that next stage of the portfolio for you guys that you're going to be looking at?
So thank you. So look, particularly as it comes to our virtual data center, so our VDC is now augmenting that offering. So we, a part of the journey was to become cloud verified, and for me that was us communicating to the market, to our clients, to the people that we have on our platform and the people we would like to attract to our platform, that we meet a minimum set of requirements in order to get VMware stamp of approval. But it now allows us to innovate, right? And that for me is the big thing. So the ability to be able to offer container services on those platforms is something that we're looking to develop, because everyone loves VMs, but we've also got to think about modern application development.
Sure.
Now clients modernize those applications, and to help our clients with giving them different options. So not necessarily, a fantastic idea to build on-prem container services, but absolutely in an environment like ours that can scale is good. Augment that with what you need in the hyperscalers as well, and all of a sudden you've got a very robust set of offers. And then also to start exploiting or bringing the VMware marketplace onto our platform as well. So clients are also able to take advantage of some of the packaged offerings that VMware delivers through the marketplace to make it a more compelling venue for their workloads when they bring them.
Yeah, and I think just to kind of rewind on that one, I think the ability to kind of move into your cloud, to have that assistant that's professional services, managed services, then to run and operate in the cloud, but also that forward-looking portfolio. So I'm not, as a customer, then going to have to look at moving out of your cloud because you've got everything I need in terms of the next generation of infrastructure from Kubernetes perspective, and like you said, the app marketplace. And one of the big benefits here is the app marketplace is all tested and secured from VMware's perspective. You're relaying that value onto your customers, but development then is able to be within that secure environment rather than it being in an open environment where you're using shareware products, which potentially could have exploits in them.
Yeah, you're right. So, what we want to deliver is something that's curated, something that's secure, something that's that adds additional value. So, I mean, those are the roadmap that we have. Now is the time where I say not committed, but it's absolutely the roadmap. It's what we want to deliver, and we're on that journey. We're making the investment. We're putting the effort in. We've done a lot of work around integrating deeply into VCD. So to allow our clients to get a rich and robust experience when they kind of integrate with that platform, and it's just about adding additional value to that as we go.
Brilliant. Well, Jeff, listen, this is fantastic to hear about Dimension Data and what you guys are doing and serving, the southern and eastern side of Africa. If you just sum it up, why should customers work with Dimension Data?
So I believe customers should work with Dimension Data because, and as we said in the beginning, I think you commented it on the breadth that we have to offer. So, the fact that clients can trust that we are going to take an agnostic view of your workload and where the best place is, and then talk to you about how you place it. I think that is something that clients should find compelling. We're not going to pigeonhole you. We're not going to push you down a particular strategy that kind of suits perhaps a niche offer we have, because we've got a much broader portfolio and it allows us to be far more consultative and advise you in the best way. So from our perspective, I think that should give clients or prospective clients the comfort that we are going to do well by them, and we are going to really be able to offer them the full breadth of what hybrid cloud and the multi-cloud has to offer.
Yeah, absolutely. Jeff, just lastly before we finish, then how can customers find out more information about Dimension Data and the cloud portfolio?
Go to our website, www.dimensiondata.com. Cloud is under our solutions menu. It's got a contact us in there. You click on that and somebody's going to get hold of you.
Brilliant. Jeff, Jack, thank you very much for your time today. I really appreciate it. It's been very interesting to learn about Dimension Data, and thank you again.
Thank you, Guy.